Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
To go down in history as being that woman.
Yeah. Okay. So we are almost there and we're getting close. Is everybody ready for Christmas?
I just have a sleeve left. And some mitten cuffs.
Well, good for you. I was doing really good.
Yeah.
And then Rhinebeck hit.
Yeah. Well, I start usually in January.
I know you do.
So, except for 1 year that was a sweater year and I started in October. That was not a good year.
No.
I'm making one hat and I haven't started it yet.
Okay.
There's time.
It's Kaweah.
Yeah,
it'll
go.
Yeah,
It'll go fast.
It's only one skein, so I should be okay. No pom-pom. Or so I see people with knitting in their laps. I'm going, what are you knitting on?
You don't want to know.
Oh, it's lovely.
It's unfortunately a non-Miss Babs project.
It's okay.
Hey,
You know, my husband goes out and buys yarn for me.
Wait till you see this.
okay, you can't even see what it is, but it is a sock out of somebody else's yarn because I don't do self-striping yarn.
That's
my husband loves monogamous.
My husband loves to buy yarn for me, but it isn't always really what I wanted. So he buys me lace weight yarn, and I don't like to knit lace weight. So I put it together with another one to make it a decay weight. And now I'm getting through this sweater, but I don't want him to feel bad because he bought me the yarn, and so I'm going to knit it. But everything else I own practically is Miss Babs.
You certainly don't want him to stop buying you.
No,
yeah. It's very important.
I've clued him in on your website.
Nice.
And Beverly, what are you knitting?
There we go. So this is, I forget the name of it, but it's a cowl that was on your website only in solids. I'm doing it in a fade set that I got off another Raveler, but it is Miss Babs.
Nice.
So
nice.
The Dark Fury. Dark Fury. So I'm on the last color.
Lovely.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh, I did forget to point out that I am wearing my snark though that I just finished.
Right.
I see.
Nice.
I was going to ask about that.
And that's all Miss Babs, of course.
And good color combinations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are at officially in the 3 o'clock hour, and I am going to wait a minute. I'm going to move over here, and I'm going to spotlight us so that you can see us when we're speaking and see the stuff that we have behind us. And Helen is with us. I'm Babs Asherman. I'm Miss Babs.
I'm Jen.
And the disembodied voice is Helen, who's available to answer questions and run and grab stuff.
And Paige is here. She does social media for us. And I'm not sure if Veronica
Ray is here.
Oh, Callie Ray is here. And some of you may have spoken with her on the phone at one time or another. So, okay.
I'm just going to interject and say, if you have questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask, or type in the thread or the chat. We've set it to mute everyone as you come in so that we don't hear barking dogs and extraneous sounds, but we're more than happy to chat with you if you want.
Yeah, it gets too confusing.
Right.
We don't know who to listen to.
So the supposed topic for today's Zoom is notions and gifts that can be bought at this point that don't necessarily require any labor on your part. However, we're also happy to answer questions about yarn.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So always happy to answer questions about yarn.
Yeah.
So,
Right off the bat, I think we should do the things that are behind us because they're
okay.
so. Paige is here with us, and she is the creator of the Mabel coats and bags that we have here. They are made from reclaimed, repurposed antique quilts. They are lined and they have cotton duck lining and handles, or cotton web handles. They come in a couple different sizes, and
So this is the small.
That's the medium.
This is the medium. Sorry. This is the large.
Mhm.
And oh,
There's-
this is the small. So,
there might be I did put a mini out.
so just to give you an idea, and you know, I think it's also a great little bag to keep a project by the side of your chair
Yeah.
where you're sitting and knitting.
So the one that I have is the small, and it fits in the console of my car. So I can when I'm in my car, I don't knit while I drive. But it fits in the console, and that way I can just pull the whole thing out and knit and then put the whole thing back in it. I like that size. So, but it fits I'm knitting a skein of Killington. And so it's the skein fits in, and the project is, I don't know, I've got about that much knit, fits in on top of it, but I like the small size of it.
Yeah.
So, Paige, do you want to tell everybody about anything?
Sure, I'll add some to that. So I take, as Jennifer said, I take vintage quilts, and they're sort of tossed aside as a cutter quilt, and I try to make a coat out of it first, but I also realized some of them didn't have enough like good spots on it to actually make a coat. So I started doing these little bags. And the primary reason, as Jennifer said, was something that could sit open by your side and just keep your project self-contained. And that's why they come in 3 sizes. I think the little one fits like lace projects nicely. I tend to use my little one actually as I put my wallet and my phone and my keys in it when I'm just running to the supermarket and I don't need a tote bag or something. And then the medium size, like I'm making a sweater right now, and it's not in Babs's yarn, but it's like a worsted weight sweater. And this actually fits in my large bag with the skein of yarn that I'm working on, and just sort of all when it's scrunched up. But I just like it that it's not super deep, so you don't lose everything at the bottom. The bottom is
And it's got the white lining, so you
correct.
can see
Yeah.
into the bag.
Yep.
So something called an everyday carry. So EDC was anyway. It's keys, phone, and keys, phone. and-
Oh, it's a thing.
It is. It's a thing. It's called your everyday carry. And for me, it's, phone, keys, chapstick.
Yeah. So here's
For
my
everybody, it's a
little
little
one.
different. And so these are great for that,
I have coin purse,
yeah.
notebook.
And you make sure you have to have it when you go out the door.
Yeah.
Great size for that.
Right,
So,
Yep.
we don't have pockets.
right. We all have those short pants pockets that they put on women's pants these days. So,
You can fit your first knuckle in. That's all that you can fit in.
so we also have a number of bags.
We love bags.
This is from Brooklyn Haberdashery, and
Got a bunch of yarn in it, but
it's a great bag for and
it has a drawstring kind of
Right.
top.
right.
And it also has a cream colored inside because, we've had discussions at great length about the
Right.
bad idea that a black lining is.
And they also have some that have leather handles.
And this is 3 skeins of Yowza that's in there. So just first kind of scale is what we were trying to go for. They don't come with yarn. Sorry.
Oh, and the ones with the leather handles are reversible. You can carry it print side out or solid side out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Then we have
Yay.
bags that Lynn Everett makes and Blue Spring Craft. And this has dots on it and has a shoulder handle.
Yep.
Or,
This artwork was created by Babs.
yeah. And or you can get a handle like this. I have a bag that's in this formation and I have been carrying it every day. It's with the rectangles and I've got the shoulder and I carry whatever I'm knitting on and I bring my breakfast in it and I throw my coffee cup in there as well. But it also fits other stuff. I can carry stuff that comes in the mail. I'll throw in there and take home with me. It's a great size and not too heavy.
Yeah.
So,
You have some other styles of Lynn's bags
Right.
out there as
Yep.
well.
So Lynn also does a smaller size. What is this one called?
On the go.
On the go. And they have really beautiful carriage leather. What is it?
Harness leather.
Harness leather. And they have really nice hardware, so you can close it up if you want. But they also will sit open. They have a snap at the top, and then they also have pockets on the inside, and they sit open nicely when you put it down.
right.
I don't know if you can see, but it has pockets and some grommets and some all kinds of good stuff on the inside.
So what I will also say is that these bags have 2 pockets on one side, which is great for your phone and other things, and a full pocket the length. And I usually, when I'm working on socks, I'll put the sock into that pocket so that it works. I have no idea what's being delivered,
Probably
but
propane.
Could be Uline.
Oh, fabulous.
Okay. So you may hear a truck backing up here.
You may want to come inside here too. So
We'll see.
it'll be interesting. This is Lynn's other larger bag,
The everywhere bag.
and it has a light colored lining, and it also has interior pockets. It has a long exterior pocket here on the outside for things like cell phone.
Right.
So it's actually 2 pockets, and it also has the harness leather and this method of being able to close the top. If you want, it also sits on a leather bottom that has feet that are very nice.
Right.
And but it will also sit open, and it also closes also with a snap here.
So it can either be your purse or it can be if you're working on a big project, it will hold a big project.
Or
Yeah.
an overnight kind of bag.
Yeah,
Right.
laptop. I mean, it'll fit your laptop in there
Right.
as well.
And we
So
have these both in the waxed canvas and with Veronica and Babs watercolors on.
Right.
Mhm.
So that one has multiple options and styles.
This one has the short handles with the artwork on it.
That's the market bag.
This is
Yeah. So
I hope he doesn't come banging on that door. He's gonna scare me.
So another item that we've just added, and we haven't got these on the website yet because they just came in and we haven't gotten them photographed yet. But our Christmas or holiday,
Winter gift tags.
winter gift tags. So they have little trees on them with a little snow coming down. And these are little watercolors that I did. And so it also has information of hand wash or machine wash gentle with a to and from. So.
And those should be on the website in the next day or two.
Right. And that'll be 8 tags for $5. So, okay. Other things.
Back behind me, on this side, there's also some woven stuff that I have made out of Bab's yarn that's in the boutique. They're not really accessible for me to bring forward and show you. If anybody wants to see one of them, I will pull them forward, but we kind of dressed up the booth with them. So, but they're on the website as well. And I wove them by hand out of yarns that Babs dyed. So,
Right. Also, on the website, we have some sample garments that we've used in the past for samples and or for photographs and, you know, that sort of thing that are available. And generally the pricing is the yarn cost or less. Yeah, less than the yarn cost for the samples. So some of those are already gone, but there's still a fair number.
We were surprised at how many we ended up with when we went through them.
Right. It took
Yeah.
us 2 hours to just sort of catalog how many garments that we were putting up.
I mean, they're extremely useful for us. But we are always kind of moving forward.
Right.
So it's not like they've been worn, but they have been artfully displayed at booths and at trunk shows and stuff like that. So there's all the information up there that you would need to know what they are.
Okay. Any questions so far? Okay. So another item is our fan t-shirts.
This
And-
one's really wrinkly.
Yeah, and they are 40% off, and they
We have them in this light gray and the light blue.
right.
Yep.
So there's those.
Do these.
Mhm.
One of the gals that works here at the studio, Haley,
Keen.
makes these beautiful books. They're all hand bound. She uses found materials and
That one she'll have marbled herself.
Yeah, she did the marbled paper herself.
and then on the inside, the pages are all put together by her. They lay flat. The way they're bound, they lay flat. This one is, the pages are a dot matrix. But those are nice. You can never have enough blank pages and blank books to stick in a project bag. And people love them. So
That's the,
I think that's the medium, and then this is the small, and those two sizes are particularly good for sticking in a bag and keeping notes.
yeah, not sure why this one has a Post-it note, but some of them are lined.
I think it's to tell us which one it is.
Which one it is.
Yeah.
I really like that they lay flat. It makes it nice when you're
Right.
trying to make marks in it, you know, the number of rows that you're doing. So that's really nice.
Right.
And then is this a different size?
That's a large.
Bindings are really nice.
yeah, she does a really nice job. Haley's been with us for about a year and a half and was an art major at ETSU. She is a oil color oil painter and also does lots of other things and is a wonderful addition to the dyeing staff.
Absolutely.
So, and she also, She's also very handy. She is also doing shipping when needed. And, you know,
Was instrumental in getting the festive sets. happening
Yes.
out.
Yeah,
Helped a lot with counting beads. for the book
Right.
club.
Jane of all trades.
right. So other things, other ideas for gifts, stitch markers. And these are the sheep, you know, that you could get for a friend. This one is ice cream, coffee, sort of latte and other cappuccinos and that sort of thing. But we have lots of stitch markers in lots of varieties.
We're always looking for new themes to,
Yeah, we have a bunch of different dangly ones, and then we have the Bab's favorite stitch markers, which are the ring with the bead. And then we have some simple snagless stitch markers, which are just
Rings.
a circle soldered closed. So we've got all different assortment.
we have these are made by Knitter's Pride. This is part of their Mindful collection. These are a set of pins, rather than placing individual pins in your blocking, when you're blocking out something. These are kind of like a little bit like a comb.
Yeah.
So you can use, they block out a larger section at a time.
Right.
And this is a set, there are 12 blockers with 8 pins and 8 blockers with 4 pins. So there's a couple different sizes in here, and they're really pretty colors. I love them.
Right.
I think they're gorgeous. It's kind of like a gradient
Right.
they did.
But it's really
Yeah.
handy. And
Yeah. And they're rust free, and they come in a little box so that you don't lose them like you do all the pins. But that's a handy thing.
Right.
If there's a knitter in your life that doesn't have a set of things to block with, it's a nice gift.
okay. So Haya needles have been actually my go-to needle for years. And this is their interchangeable set that includes stitch markers and needle, darning needles. It includes ends for your needles. When you want to switch from one thing to another, it provides lots of little things that you need, and is $167 for the entire set.
Let me
Unless,
double check because they just had a price increase.
oh, they just had a price increase.
After like 5 years of,
Right.
you know, $209.
Oh, it went up significantly, but
It's the small and the large set and
Right.
a bunch of notions.
Right.
So it's still definitely.
a good deal. So,
And it comes with its own case, so everything can
Right.
be contained once you
Right.
open up the packaging.
I love it for traveling. When I'm going to visit people, I'll just toss that in my bag because it's pretty much got whatever size I
Right.
need. And it doesn't take up much room in the suitcase. And then if I buy yarn, which does sometimes happen when I go on a trip and decide I need to cast on right away, I'll have whatever size I need.
you've never gone on a trip, I'm sure, and not had the needles to cast on. Oh. Okay, this is my favorite when I'm doing lace. It opens up, it has, okay. I didn't know if I could or not.
We can put it back in.
Okay,
Promise not to mangle.
okay, so it has a, and it has a bar. You put the pattern underneath. It actually has 2 bars, but you can use this to help you on a lace pattern to line up on the chart. And you have these little magnets to help you. And the other thing is this hooks to this and it'll stand up nicely. And on the other side,
It's got a place.
it's got a place with a zipper where you can keep things like a pen or, well, there's a pen here, but other things that you might need,
Scissors, tapestry needle.
your little notebook to track unless you use a,
See if it fits in here.
yeah,
Yep. Yay.
the little book fits in the back, but you may want a piece of paper to
Yeah.
make notes on, post-it notes, that sort of thing. So,
Counter,
yeah,
gotcha counter kind of
this
thing.
is what I use for my lace when I'm doing lace knitting, which hasn't been lately.
Too much concentration.
Yeah, part of the problem when we're getting ready for shows, by the time I get home, I'm sort of beat. And if I can't think about anything except straight knitting.
Stockinette in the round.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know about you, but I probably own, I think at one time I did a flat lay on the number of scissors that I own, because you have to have one in every bag and it goes with every project. So I probably have 15 pairs of scissors.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
I don't think I'm alone in not ever having a pair of scissors in the bag. So I try and have a pair of scissors in every bag. But anyway, these are some of my favorite scissors because they're so darn cute and they cut yarn. I mean, scissors, sometimes they don't cut very well. I mean, you buy
So-
them. Yeah, they're so cute. And they cut yarn really good.
Yep. And
When we got them in, I was like, please cut yarn, please cut yarn, please cut yarn. Because
yeah,
They're Japanese made, and so
right.
stereotypically they're well constructed. I actually gave a pair to everyone in my family for Christmas one year, and they all put them in their travel bags because you can take them on planes.
yeah,
And my brother-in-law has said he has been surprised how frequently he's found they come in handy on trips.
and I mean, they're just adorable. We have a couple different colors, and
Yeah.
I mean, I just love these.
Yep.
So they're one of our favorites. And we do have other scissors. We have lots of cute scissors on the website. And we have tested them. They cut yarn like they're supposed to. You wouldn't think that would be necessary,
Or a problem.
but a problem. There's some
Those are the
classic
stork black
storks.
scissors.
Yeah. And we have the Eiffel Tower.
Which are sweet.
Yeah, they are sweet. And the sheep. So we've got a bunch of different ones. It's a nice way to kind of spend some time perusing through all of the cool
Yeah.
things that go in your knitting bag. So
Yep.
we like doing that.
Yeah, and I think, for people who are looking for gifts for me, I often suggest notions
Mhm.
because yarn is such a personal,
Right.
you're going to get the wrong color, the wrong blend, the wrong weight. But with notions, I can just say, get me some cute scissors. And
Yeah.
as long as they cut, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
Yeah. And they're not as, well, you still need more scissors because you have more knitting bags for them to go in. I think it's always a good purchase. We don't all just knit. So we do have some things on the website for extending your craft vocabulary. These are needlepoint and embroidery. It comes as a complete set. So all of the thread that you need, the pattern, and the bag that you're going to be embroidering is in this one. But we have found these to be really nice, and they come in this nice envelope. So you can actually put the project in the envelope and carry it with you. So that's been really
And
nice.
keep it from getting dirty as you start it, and then put it down for 3 months and then finish it.
It's a palette cleanser.
Also, cats like to sit on that type of plastic,
Oh,
so
this?
double bonus.
Yeah.
I think they like to sit on everything.
Yes, unless you bought them something to sit on, in which case that's not acceptable.
They won't sit on the cat bed, but they'll sit on everything
The
else.
things I've knit for them, they're not interested in. If I'm knitting the same yarn in a similar texture for someone else, they love sitting on it. I don't understand, but I accept it.
Right.
It's just one of the things that we love about them. So speaking of socks, because you're knitting a sock,
I am.
Helen is knitting a sock, and Babs is knitting a sock, and Jennifer is not knitting a sock. But we have sock blockers as well. Who are these made by?
I don't remember her name. I am very sorry.
She is
She's in Poland,
Poland.
I believe.
In Poland, and she does lots of different designs on them. This is hydrangeas. And we have, yeah, it's hard.
wrong arm.
And those are the cherry blossoms.
Oh, that's
And
These are a nice gift
Yeah.
for a knitter.
yeah, and we have geckos and
Hearts.
And-
a peacock.
number of different patterns. So
And the patterns are useful because that's for the
Exactly.
airflow. So they're not just pretty. But yeah, sock blockers are one of those things that is really nice for a knitter because it's not, I never bought myself. I have one sock blocker. So if I made a pair and washed them, I would. This makes them very much nicer than just laying them over the drying rack.
Well, and I usually use the sock blockers. When I finish a pair of socks, I'll block it and take a photo. And then I have a nice photo and they look nice when I gift them.
right.
And then they're never blocked again, which is fine, but it's nice to have a nice sock blocker for the photo.
Right. So that is about all the things that, I mean, we've got
we
lots of
got.
other things on the website, but pretty much,
A good overview of our
Right.
notions.
yes.
Yeah.
So if anybody has any questions about yarn or wants to see the inside of a bag again, or just wants to ask a question,
And we're,
Yeah.
yes.
I'm just wondering how the testing is going on to find another base to replace Woodbury. For those of us who like the non-superwash.
We have 2 non-superwash yarns that will be coming in the new year.
Yeah, we have 2 new non-superwash yarns coming in the first part of the year. And we have another base that we're working on. I will tell you, it's been a little frenetic here. I don't know,
a
fall
good thing.
just tends to be that way, but yeah, they're coming.
Okay.
that's the short answer.
Yes. But, you know, it's, yeah, it's, I wish it could just, you know, textile time is way different than,
Yeah.
you know, what I'd like it to do. And frankly, you know, if anything is coming from outside the country, then that we've
Oh.
got issues as well.
Right.
So, you know, as consumers, we find it kind of annoying that, you know, right after Christmas, they're going to put bathing suits in the stores. And we're all going to be just crabby about it. It's annoying the way that retail pushes the next season. I mean, you know, like at Halloween, there was Christmas stuff in the stores, and that you have to understand that that's only indicative of the timeline that the people they're 6 months ahead of that. So the people who are going to put bikinis in the store right after Christmas had to start thinking about bikinis like last January.
Yeah.
And textile time is
Yes, lengthy.
and annoying. So, yeah, we're working on it.
Okay. Thank you.
Well past the selection testing stage and into the waiting on the yarn
Right,
stage.
right.
Yeah, it exists. We just have, we do it.
Well, it's
But we
being
are,
built.
but I'm also in the process of doing some selection on another
Yeah.
base as well. That would be a non-superwash.
And we also have the damask coming,
Mhm. Right.
The linen silk.
which is a
blend.
linen silk blend. So that will be new.
Ish. I mean,
Yeah.
we got some and then again,
Yeah,
it,
we bought them out twice and then said, can you make a larger lot next time?"
right.
Yeah.
So,
So
okay.
we have things to look forward to. I have a sample back on my desk if you wanted to show it. Shh.
Other questions?
We're also open, and this is just like if there are notions or things, neat knitting things that you could let us know about, we also appreciate that.
Right.
So your suggestions are welcome.
Yeah. If you have ideas about things.
Yeah.
So this year I have been actively, as you've noted, bringing on things that other creatives have made. And that is calculated. It's a calculated effort on my part. I grew up in a family of creatives. I believe that it's important for them to be given the opportunity. And for the most part, I take, and this is just sort of information, I take less than the normal cut because I am trying to support people. And I think people need, it is amazing to me how much creativity there is in many people. It's like, so one of the women who's worked for me for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years now, and she keeps showing me her photos and I'm like, oh, we've got to do something with some of her photos because she has an incredible eye. And it just, I just never really put 2 and 2 together until this year when we've been doing this and actively looking at people's creative, their creative talents.
It's not
And
necessarily on the outside,
right.
Right.
So, it's sort of, you never know, somebody who's creative doesn't necessarily look like they're creative. It's like,
Not everybody is a stereotypical, hippie hair and long
Right.
skirt created.
right, exactly.
visually.
Exactly. So anyway,
And a lot of people who are creative are afraid to put their stuff out there. It's very, it's exposure. It's embarrassing. That's that quote that's on my, it said creativity is embarrassing. And it is. You put it out there and you say, I made this, and it's scary because then somebody's going to have an opinion about it.
and we often think that it's an opinion about us,
Yeah. That's
not
true.
about the object.
Yeah.
So,
And it doesn't matter what they think.
Right.
So, yeah,
that's been an effort this year.
One of the things that we like about the shows, actually doing the shows in person, is that people wear their things and we get to see, and there's this moment when we recognize that somebody has on a hand knit thing, and there's this moment where you say, oh my God, that's so nice. And they get a little bigger. There's
Confidence.
confidence and pride, and creation is embarrassing, and it makes us bigger on the
When-
inside. So it's
Yeah.
just neat.
And I,
Can,
yes,
can we ask a question about colors? I
Absolutely.
have 2 skeins of Purple Joy. It was a little accidental. I fell in love with it. I bought it and then I forgot that I bought it and I bought it again. So now I have 2 skeins of Purple Joy Yowza. And I am trying to figure out what to do with it. And I am in love with brioche. So I tend to make a lot of brioche stuff. And I was like, what's a good contrast color for Purple Joy in your opinion?
For brioche.
Mikhail's. Let me go grab it.
Mikhail's and
The blue,
yeah.
Mikhail's.
We're gonna go
Right.
grab a couple skeins so you can
so
see it.
one of the things to know about Mikhail's is that it is a double dye, which means that it gets dyed one color one day and then over dyed the next day. And the color that is underneath is a half and half blue purple, half blue, half purple. So there is a blue under, so that will work with the Purple Joy, but it won't be so purple that you would lose the
Mm-hmm.
in
contrast.
the contrast in the brioche.
Okay,
And so Helen is looking
that's
and
fine.
You could also pick something that is a very stark contrast.
Mhm. Like,
but
oh, look at that.
That's not Yowza because it doesn't look like we have Mikhail's.
That's
Yowza
okay.
at the moment. But that was my first thought.
Yeah,
yeah, I like that. I think
Mhm.
that's
yeah. I would never have thought of that. Thank you.
And one of the kind of, I don't know if I want to say classic, but so purple and green are really good
Mhm.
contrast. So something like this for a very kind of loud brioche combination would be something like ghoulish or it's one of those bright greens, hops.
but I do like the
Yeah.
Mikhail's.
Yeah, I like this kind of brioche more so than I like the super contrasty. But that's also a way of picking
Oh, yeah.
a color.
Yeah.
Because one's gonna ride on top of the other. So that would be an option as well. This one is a little lighter. This is Iantha. So that's slightly less loud. But those would work as well. So
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I actually have Mikhail's too. I don't know why I bought it, but I have
Yeah.
it. So I can actually make that work.
done.
Done.
Check.
About the things that we buy that we didn't really intend to buy, and then we'll go to get things out for a project and we go, oh my gosh, that's how this came together. They were out of 4 different things that I had bought for different projects and not used.
Right.
And then I was able to pull them together and I'm just kind of like, oh wow, it's great to have a mismatched stash.
It is. It's a palette for you to work with. And what's neat is that if you have a certain color aesthetic, then after a while you kind of find that you go to your stash and you're like, ooh, I really like all of these together because that's your aesthetic, that's your taste. And so I mean,
Yeah, it'll add up together.
yeah, it'll eventually add up to, oh my gosh, I have a skein of Mikhail's because I love it. And it
Yeah.
goes with the other stuff that I love. So I like it. Visiting stash is we were just talking about that because I tried to find that scarf. My stash is all over my living room right now. So
Okay.
literally all over.
Other questions?
I do have a suggestion for you of a possible notion for you to carry.
Okay.
Really come to my attention, and you may have seen it at the shows, but it's called the Knitting Barber.
Yeah, I was reading about that recently.
They're fabulous, and my local shop can't keep them in stock, and I want some more. But they're cables like this, and they're literally
Oh, yeah.
little hollow tubes. And I can't really show you, but you stick them on the end of your needle.
Mhm.
You can just slide your work off onto them if you want to see what a shawl is looking like, but it's in too close together.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, they are so cool. And they come in a box with 1 60-inch one. So if you're working on a really big sweater that you need to get off, and 2 30-inch ones, but
Yeah.
they literally don't come off the needle. I right now, my Advent set is on one of these cables. That's why I only have one of these blue ones right now.
Yeah. I have seen
Put
those.
them on the end of the needles. And my big problem was I had to go get my husband to get it off because I had forgotten that you could just pull them. You have to pull them the right way to get them off.
It's
Right.
kind of like the Chinese finger traps when you
Uh-huh.
tighten up, and so they don't pull off.
Right.
They would be a great notion for you to carry because they're very much in demand in our shops here. Can't keep them in.
Yeah,
I
they're.
will see if I can.
Thank
source
you.
those.
Cool.
I would buy it. I just letting you know, I would buy a set if you had them because I need some more.
Helen's working on it right now. Setting up a wholesale account.
Helen loves to spend money.
Yes,
That's not hers.
we joke that I spend money and Babs receives money because I buy all the notiony stuff that
Yeah.
we have on a regular basis.
I spend a lot of money on yarn, so.
Well, I write the checks, so.
Yes.
Yeah. Whenever I go to shows or go to yarn stores, or when I get a chance to poke around, I'm always putting links in the we make our own suggestions.
Right.
So, and then Helen, have you looked into that?
Yeah.
So, shopping vicariously through Helen. So,
Mm-hmm.
I tracked them down.
aha, yay. What is your most used notion? How about that? Mine is already scissors.
Oh, mine is your knitting markers that you send. Oh my gosh, they're fabulous.
Hmm.
Do you always have one?
Always. There's one right here. If you look at this project, it may not be Miss Bab's yarn, but your marker's in here.
Yeah.
We're without them. They're lovely.
I use them all the time.
Mhm.
And then I use one of them that has something on it as what helped me to know the right side, or, this is where I'm starting, or that sort of thing.
I use them mostly. I use them to keep count as well. Like I'll put them on when I'm casting on. I may not use them later. Like in the first row, oftentimes I'll kind of dump them off the needle as I go around or across. So, but I use them every 10 stitches to count.
Okay, so they want to see you.
Oh,
Hi.
This is Helen.
Hi, Helen.
Hello. That's Beverly Hart.
So, okay.
It's fun. We get to see the names come across, like when we do the caking or whatever, and we often don't have a face with the name.
so there was a question about how we decide to bring back colors like chocolate roses. That's a dye style that we don't really do anymore, but we have been talking about trying to do something similar in a pot, or at least the idea has been floating periodically. So
We knew that was going to happen when that sample.
Can I just say something to Miss Babs?
Sure.
Thank you, Miss Babs. This is Ronnie Linsfall from chemocaps.com. And
Yes.
I wanted to say, of course, I have all your yarns and I love all of you, but I wanted to say thank you for that beautiful note that you sent me, that you hand wrote, and it was very much appreciated. I thank you so much. And sorry for the passing of your husband. It was my pleasure to donate to St. Jude's 50 cats in
Ah,
his name. Okay.
lovely.
And
Lovely.
thanks for your note. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronnie Lynn. So Chocolate Roses is an old dye style, and it's one that we just don't do anymore. But so the difficulty in planning production is giving enough time to what people have requested and what we need to dye for shows. And it's more complicated than one would imagine. And frankly, I'm trying to teach other people to do a lot of I still do all the variegated. And it's, you know, I'm trying to start teaching others to do some of that, so that I'd like to go visit my family in Florida sometime. I'd like to work a 4-day week.
She likes the weekend.
So, you know, it's, but it's, yeah, it's hard. And I'll tell you, this week, today, we've got 7 people out sick.
Yeah.
Oh my
And it's not COVID.
No,
it's
stomach
just
and wet regular winter.
and other kinds of things going on. And it's like, oh my gosh, that just sort of,
Yeah.
So anyway.
One thing to know about Chocolate Roses. So one of the reasons that we moved away from that dye style is not the color combination. Because of course, chocolate and roses is kind of universally, and we know that. We know it's a beautiful thing. But that dye style has a propensity to pool because of the way that it's done. And so one of the things that we have done is move toward a better result on your needles. And so that particular dye style, even though the colors are beautiful, and you know, that's one of the reasons that we moved away from it.
Well, I will ponder how to achieve that in a pot. So
So it gives you better results.
So I know there was another question, and
So the question was, do we think we'll ever bring back the colorway a hop, a skip, and a jump, which was, I think, a wild iris before we officially called them wild irises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it would have probably been called by us a non-repeatable babette.
right. Yeah, I don't even have any idea what that looks
it's not
like.
one we have a formula for, so it's not one we'll be able to do again.
Right.
Do you still have a skein of it?
We could find photos on Rav, but again, it would not turn out the same.
Right.
It's an
We've
opportunity to
tried
play.
sometimes.
So
No worries, no worries. I have a big Kakatin skein of 1,600 yards of it. It's hot pinks, lime greens. It's fabulous. And it is from long ago.
Yeah.
What do you plan on doing with it?
Well, to tell you the truth, I'm not sure, because here's the thing. When I got it, and you poor gals had to wind it all for me, you know, it is so beautiful that it's too beautiful. There's nothing worthy enough. And that's horrible to say, but it's so
We
true.
get it.
I was going to knit a Viajante, and then no, it's just not even, that's not even worthy of it. It's just so fabulous. So it's sitting in a yarn bowl in
You
my
should put
bed.
it on a cake stand with a little glass top over it.
Yeah, I have it in a yarn bowl, artfully displayed like a museum piece.
Yeah. So we're in the back of the studio. This is our little fake booth that we put together when we get a chance to spend some time with you all. And the caking, where we make the cakes, oftentimes if we get a really pretty cake off the caker, Bobby will bring it out into the studio and go, ta-da.
Right.
Sometimes they
right.
cake up so beautifully.
Right.
I had knitting friends over and someone actually picked it up out of the yarn ball and I came running across the room. I said, no. No. I said, you're a knitter.
Don't touch it.
Yeah, you're a knitter. Don't you know better? And she said, oh, get this. I wanted to snip off a few inches so maybe I could find, I could call Miss Babs or someone, see if they'll dye it. I said, well, don't be putting the scissors to my yarn. Take a picture with your
Take a picture.
Yeah. And then when I went to get the coffee and cookies and cheeses, I took it along with me. And I put it in my bedroom because nobody would go in there. It was safe.
That's funny.
Touching. So funny. Not a good thing.
Have you all heard of any great patterns people are doing with the Advent sets? Sorry, I don't know if you're not calling them Advent, but like I got
To the Miss Babs fanatic, we have bundles, for Yowza and for all the different bases, but we also have like project ideas for sets and things like that as well.
great.
If anyone else has any questions, I can. keep
Thanks,
answering.
Paige. We're back. We
Oh,
just,
good. Okay.
in the afternoon, the internet will just freeze. So anyway.
We've set the bundles on Ravelry so that anyone can add to them. So if you have a project you think is appropriate that we missed, feel free to add it in and share it with others.
The other thing to know is that you can often, if you take the total yardage on
Yes,
your set,
absolutely.
you can, and that's listed on, I don't remember what it is.
Lots.
It's lots. But you can plug that yardage into a sweater or a wrap or a shawl, or
Right.
you can use the total yardage to plug that into a project.
Someone asked about a crochet idea for a gradient. Veronica did Bantam,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
I will link in a moment, and is quite nice in a gradient set. That's the only crochet gradient project I can think of offhand, although I'm sure there are others out there.
And the yardage, the yardage on the regular toes is 133 yards, and the yardage on the Advent or Festives is 80. So you
80
could,
times 25 is
yeah,
2,000.
you might be able to plug in a regular gradient into, and there's bundles just for gradients on the Rav
Right.
group as well. So I try and put in as many crochet ones as we can find. I crochet, but I only crochet a few things.
I will confess that I probably am the one that adds the most to the bundles, and I'm really not a crocheter. So I look at new patterns every day, but I only look at the knit patterns. Periodically, I'll have a hunt through for crochet patterns and add a bunch, but
yeah,
probably not as often as I should.
yeah.
But again,
There you went again.
It's hard to have our eyes on everything. So
Yeah, and we want that to be a resource for everybody.
Right.
So, participate. It's encouraged.
Please. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So are there any final questions? I think we are fine. We are enjoying doing these Zoom meetings. And so we'll probably do one sometime in early January, I would think.
Mid-January, because early January we'll be packing.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
mid-January, after the Christmas sale,
Yep.
after the gratitude sale. So,
And we're open to suggestions about the topic for these as well. So if there's something that you'd like us to discuss other than how to dye yarn.
right, right.
We would love to hear the suggestions as well. So
Okay,
And we'll probably start recording and posting them
Right.
like we're doing this time, and forgot to do last time, but hopefully we'll remember to do in the future.
okay. Well,
thank you.
thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a suggestion for the topic, your first dye experience or your first needlecraft.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone loves your glasses, Jen,
Oh, thank you.
and wonders where you got the frames, locally or online?
I got them in Winston-Salem.
Locally.
But I can figure out who they're made by and put a link in the, or at
If
least,
you email us, we can figure it out and let you know.
yeah, I'll try and figure it out and let you
Right.
know. Just email us.
Okay.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you. Take care. Have a nice evening.
Knit fast. Christmas is coming.
Bye-bye.
I.